Welcome everyone. So today is going to be a little bit different than how I have been doing it. So typically I would pick a topic and I would start rambling and I'll start talking about the topic, which I am going to continue to do because that is something I enjoy. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be opening up questions for people to ask and to get answers. So if you have any questions, email me at coachinginsession@gmail.com and I will get to your questions in the next show or the show after that. Shows are going to be typically Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays with bonus days on Tuesdays and Thursdays, depending on my schedule. So today I was a little bit behind in getting everything, but I did want to push out a show because yesterday's show was copyrighted because I used a video from the Olympics. So apparently the Olympics doesn't like for you to use their content. So if you are a content creator or if you're just reviewing shows or talking about the Olympics in general, don't use their videos because they're very strict about what you can and what you can't show. So yesterday, the video I had showed, it is on my Facebook page on Reverend Concepts on my Facebook page where you can see, I think it's the second post, and it's about a runner who fell down, but she got back up and she got first place. And I was talking about mindset yesterday, how our mindset is what makes us or breaks us, right? And yesterday we were talking about two different types of mindsets. So the first mindset we were talking about was a fixed mindset. And a fixed mindset is when failure is the end, right? You don't think abundantly, right? Success is limited, right? There's not enough to go around. You have a very scarce type of thinking. So, with that being said, having a fixed mindset is actually a deterrent to becoming successful. Now, can you have a fixed mindset and become successful? Of course. I believe it's a lot more challenging, right? Because if you don't believe that you can do something, or if you don't believe that there's something out there more than what you're experiencing right now, you're not going to go after more. So you have to make sure you go after more. But how do you do that if you have a fixed mindset? Easy. Change your mindset. But what do you change it to? And what you should change your mindset to if you want more out of your life and you find that failure is something that's stopping you. Maybe you're afraid to try, get out of your comfort zone. Maybe you just don't know how, right? And you want to be this type of new mindset person and you're not happy being fixed anymore. So if you're not happy where you are, change it. And sad to say, the majority of people in Western civilization are fixed-minded people. That's why you hear about the top 1 or 2%, right? But this podcast is not geared to the top 1 or 2%. This podcast, this video series is going to be geared to the bottom 80, right? So the top 20%, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? They're going out, they're getting their money, they're going out, getting relationships, they're making moves, right? Whether it be financial, spiritual relationships, anything, right? They're making moves because they have a goal. And most of those people are growth mindset type of people. And yes, you will encounter people in the top 20% who are fixed-minded, but it is so minute, those people, right? You might find negative people up there. I know people personally in the top 1% of that factor of income earners who are negative, right? Who have a negative mindset. And the fact that they have a negative mindset doesn't mean they have a fixed mindset, because they still live in abundance, right? So you can have a positive mindset, a negative mindset, along with the mindset you need for success. So the mindset you need to be successful is actually a growth mindset, right? So if you can switch from being a fixed-minded person, believing you can't do something, listening to what people tell you, following the rules like a good boy or girl, guess what? The moment you stop allowing people to put limits on you, you can create your own limits, right? Growth mindset. How far do you want to go? How much work do you want to do? And if you can understand, all right, I'm here, but I want to be there. That's the first step. Because people who are just walking through life right now, who are not happy and satisfied, what's happening with them? They say, oh, this is the reason why this is happening. I'm blaming this person for all my hardships and all my struggles. Okay. Well, how about if you blame yourself? Everything that you have in your life is because of you. So I'll say that again. Everything you have in your life is because of you. So if you have nothing, it's because of you. It's not because of your parents. It's not because of your significant other, right? You made a choice. And yes, if you're a child or you're a young mind, you might not have the means to get out of a certain situation, but that situation should actually help you develop your mindset, right? I was talking to a young man from Africa. He lives somewhere in Africa. And he is young. He's young. He's 16, I believe. And he's asking for help. He's asking for me to save him, right? He's asking for me to be his superhero and say, I need you to come save me. I need you to change my life around. And I asked him, I said, okay, well, what do you want to accomplish? Right? And he told me. And I asked, okay, what are you doing to accomplish that goal? And I was bombarded with excuses, reasons why he wasn't doing what he needed to do. So I said, you know what? I'm going to tell him what to do. I gave him a goal. This is what you have to do in order to be successful in doing what you want to do. Right? And then he says, okay, great. The next day, hey, how you doing? Right? You asked me again. All right. Hey, how's the list going? Did you do what I said? He's like, I did half of it. Half of it, huh? I was like, well, go back out and do the other half. Get done. Finish. Oh, this is this reason, and more excuses. Because he realized halfway through that it was a lot of work. And it was going to take a lot of work for him to reach his goal. But you have to understand something. Your goals and where you want to be should be difficult to attain. Because if you take the easy road and you take what life gives you, you're going to be missing out on so much more. And countless people do that. I think that's why my business is so successful, because there's so many people who want a better life for themselves, but they're not willing to put in the work. They're allowing themselves to get in their way. So how do we stop getting in our own way? How do we stop allowing ourselves to take the easy road? We have to change our mindset. It's all a mindset thing. Everything starts with your mind, right? Why are you not successful at something you have tried and tried and tried again? It's because your mindset is not in the right place. Now, we can also add, you have bad habits, you didn't develop a plan of action. We can go down the list, but it starts with how you think about it. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, right? Henry Ford said it. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are right. So I have a lot of people who contact me and they're looking for a quick fix. They say, I want this, I want that, and then I'll be happy. Okay. Well, how much are you willing to work? Right? And more often than not, people like the idea of living better, of having more, of being in a better relationship or a better career or have a better lifestyle. People want that for themselves, and I want that for them. But if they're not willing to put in the work, how can they attain that? And even if I gave it to them, how will they maintain it? How will they keep that? They can't. So something has to be done on their end for them to keep the life that they're looking for. And a good majority of them, again, doesn't want to deal with how much work is required of them. So the first steps that I take when I'm working with people and I'm answering questions with them, because everyone has something they're after, whether it be they want better career, better lifestyle, better eating habits, being more healthy, getting in shape, right? Everyone has these wants and desires, whether they say they want it or not. Deep down, they want something, right? People want something, right? We are sentient beings in the sense we need to feel, right? That's why you have so many people who enjoy drama, right? You watch Love and Hip Hop, you watch Survivor, you watch all these shows where there's some type of turmoil happening. And you're like, oh my God, look what's happening. This is crazy, right? And simply that drama, even though it's not your drama, it fills you up, right? It's that, ooh, that drama's so good, delicious. And when you understand that that drama's actually a deterrent from you to go out and get more in your life, because you don't want to develop your own drama. You rather deal with someone else's drama because it's not your drama. And a lot of people don't seek drama. They say, I'm done with drama. I don't seek it. If you got a baby mama or baby daddy, F them, etc. Doesn't matter. The drama is there. And simply not looking for that drama and having a drama-free life also puts another thought in your head. And that thought is to have a carefree life. And if you have a carefree life, you have a life where you're not challenging yourself enough. So I'm a pretty healthy guy. And if I go to the gym, I know if I'm not working out at 100%, right? I know. But sometimes I say, it's okay. Today I'm going to take it easy. I'm just going to do my 45 minutes of lifting, maybe no cardio at the end. That's fine, right? But then there's times when I say, well, I don't really like how my body's looking right now, right? I want bigger biceps. I want maybe bigger calves or legs. Maybe I want to increase my bench. So what do? Do I blame myself and say, I'm not able to hit these goals, I'm not able to do this, or I'm not able to do that? I have to challenge myself. I have to create a fire underneath me in my mind to say, hey, if you want more, if you want to be better, you have to go after that. And a lot of people, when it comes to, getting there better, they stop at, okay, that's just enough. I sweated a little bit. My heart beat, pretty quickly. I don't want to have a heart attack on the treadmill. So I said, might as well stop. Went home that night, maybe ate a salad. And the next morning I went to McDonald's to get a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel. I'm being pretty healthy, actually. No, you're not. When it comes to deciding what you want in your life, you have to figure out what is going to work for you and what will no longer work for you. If you want something in your life and you have habits that are a detriment to your progress, you need to get rid of those habits. And again, one of the very first things I do is I identify what people's habits are. What are you doing? Right? Are you able to accomplish what you say you're going to do? And oftentimes people, they say they want it, but they're not willing to put in the work to have it. And if you have been doing something over and over and over again, it's time to change up the regimen, because there's something in your planning, in your day, in your routine, in your habits that is stopping you, that is holding you back. And sometimes you have to say, you know what? I'm going to flip the whole script. I'm doing everything different. That's why I make so many different types of workouts for me. I have an A workout, B workout, C workout. And it's not because I need to have 3 different types of workouts. It's because I know my mind, once it gets used to something, it's going to say, I'm getting bored. This is pretty easy. Where's the challenge? So I have to have different workouts, also to not let my muscles get used to the workouts. But my mind also, to tell my mind saying, hey, it doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter what you think, is going to be exactly the way I want. And a lot of people are afraid to get what they want. And the way they feel like they get what they want is entitlement. Oh, I deserve this. Oh, I'm worth this much. Okay, that's fine. You can feel whatever you want to feel, right? But does it produce the results that you're seeking? And more often than not, it doesn't produce the results, right? You might say, oh, I want a relationship. Okay, well, what are you doing to get in a relationship? I'm on a few dating sites. Okay. What are you doing about you? Right? Anyone can go on a dating site. You can swipe right all day. But what are you doing about you? How are you adding value to yourself? And that's what you should be doing, right? That's the mindset you should be creating value in yourself. And that's the growth mindset. Understanding that there's more to get. There's more out of life. There's more for tomorrow. There's more for 5 years, 10 years. It's never going to stop. There's always more to give. There's always more to have. And it's not a more to be greedy and selfish. It's a more to say, I am worth that much. So I'm going to work that much. So when it comes to getting the results, it requires massive amount of work and consistency. Now, and I won't forget, before I started my business in 2018, it was 2017. And I was working in finance at the time. And I had a lunch with a former exec from GM. And for people who don't know, GM is General Motors. Very big company. Or it used to be a very big company. And now it's kind of dwindling down, sort of like General Electric. Sears, if you think of like when Sears was big, GM, like those were very big companies back then. And so he was working there, and he was getting ready to retire, right? He told me he didn't want to retire, but they basically said, you're going to retire, right? He was 65. and they forced retirement on him, saying, yeah, hey, you did a great job. Now it's time for you to retire. Okay, so him and I are out at lunch, and we're just talking business. And when we were just talking about me a little bit too, because he didn't want to do business with anyone that he didn't like, right? He was very similar to me in a sense where I don't do business with people who I don't care for, right? I can be as picky as I want, especially when you own your own company. You can be as picky as you want in all the clientele you keep. If you don't like how someone is acting, give them a refund. I'm done, right? But him and I had a very great rapport. I think it was like a 3-hour lunch. And one of the things he had asked me, or he told me, was you have to be willing to work more than you are right now. All right? He's like, are you willing to work harder than you have ever worked in your whole entire life? And for me, that was a little bit shocking because I was already working hard. I was working maybe 60 plus hours a week. I was maybe not getting any sleep, still going to the gym, doing everything I needed to do. And I was hustling, right? I was working. But he was like, he smiled at me. He's like, I don't think you understand. Are you willing to work harder than you have ever worked in your whole entire life? So I thought about it for a second. I didn't say anything. And the thought kept coming back in my mind saying, I'm already working hard. Like, what is he talking about? And it wasn't until a week after our meeting where I finally understood what he wanted me to understand. And that was, if you're working hard and you haven't achieved success, that means you're not working hard enough. You're not putting in enough hours yet. That's all he was saying to me. If you're not successful yet, you need to put in more hours. You need to put in more work. So if you're working 40 hours a week, okay, and you're not successful, boost it up. 50 hours a week. Are you successful yet? Are you on the road to being successful? If not, boost it up. So regardless of me doing 60 hours a week or over 60 hours a week, it wasn't enough. So I said, okay, well, what can I do? I can work more or I can work smarter, right? I can figure out where I'm failing, what habits, what things in my routine are not helping me progress in my life. So when I started to take away the things that weren't serving me anymore, I was able to start to progress a little bit more. And that started a lot of thinking in 2017. So I started to read more. I started to talk to people more. And this is the top people, top 15% of people. Just trying to understand what it took to get there. And 2018 started my business and was learning the whole process of being a business owner, learning the whole process of becoming successful, right? Because my whole life until now was the American dream. And that was go to school, be a good boy, work real hard, get a job after school, after you went to college. Then when you're working, you'll be fortunate enough eventually to buy a house. And after you bought your house, then you might have a wife, some kids, a dog if you like. That was the American dream, right? So I was like, I guess I should go after that route. I should go after that dream. But that wasn't my dream. So went to school, graduated, went to work. I was a teacher before I left everything, and I did finance too. So my whole college career was finance and accounting, teaching, and then graduate with my teaching degree, my education degree. and become a teacher for about 5 years. Then after I was done with teaching, I was like, all right, something is different. Like I want something more, right? I want a different type of success. I've already been teaching for a while, and I said, okay, this will give me a good life, but I'm not looking for good. I'm looking for great. I'm looking for wonderful. And so I said, okay, teaching is cool. I like it, but I'm going to find a different avenue to teach. And so when I said, okay, my transition phase would be go back to business finance, make a lot of money in business finance, but my soul, my passion wasn't there. So I would go into work and I would enjoy it, right? Because it would pay my bills and it would get everything done. But there was something inside of me saying, I don't really enjoy this enough for me to say, okay, I'm going to do this every day, right? I'm going to do this until I'm 65 and I retire. I was like, I couldn't, because I already knew from experience when I was young, or when I was 18, 19, that finance would pay the bills, would make me successful in the monetary standpoint, but it wouldn't give me the happiness I was looking for too, right? It's like I got one thing, but I didn't get the other. So I was like, okay, well, what could I do? So I started my own business again. In 2018 started, 2019, 2020 happened, whole pandemic, crisis mode, people losing their minds, right? I did have to switch it up in 2020 because people were panicking. People didn't want to spend money because they didn't know what was next in their life. They didn't know if there was going to be a recession. They didn't know if they were going to lose their jobs, their homes. But when people started to realize that it was safe to come out of the hole, the nuclear the nuclear fallout was over, they said, okay, it's safe to come out. What can I do? What can I do right now? And a lot of people mentally were not ready to do what was needed to do. They weren't willing to put in the work. They weren't willing to put in the hours. They weren't looking for a challenge. They were looking for easy street, right? Why do you think so many people are unemployed in America right now? Maybe because the businesses went out of business. Maybe because people said, I'm too afraid to go to work. Or perhaps they just wanted to be lazy, and the government will give them $600 to stay home, maybe more than what they would make in a given day at work. That's a mindset issue. But I can't blame those people, because if those people are going to be smart, right? Why would I work at a facility or a place and then make $500 when I could sit at home, watch Netflix all day and get $600? You can't blame them for being smart with their time. But what are they doing with all that extra time they're getting? They're not working 40 hours a week anymore. They're not doing a 9 to 5, maybe 9 to 5, watching Netflix or Hulu or whatever. That's possible. I'm sure there's a job in that too. But what are they doing to progress themselves in life? And shout out to everyone in the chat. There is a point you have to reach in order to go after more. And a lot of people will obey an order, to stand down, to give up, to not be more than what they are right now because someone told you not to. Someone said, don't do this, this is bad. They told you no. Well, I'm here to say yes. I'm here to say you can do whatever you want. And for all the people who tell you you can't do something, you put them in a nice little box. And you close that box, and you could toss it in the ocean. You could put it in the closet. I don't care where you put the box. But you don't go back there. You don't go back to that person who told you that you're not good enough and that you're not essential and you're not a hero and you need to stay home. No. It doesn't work that way. Because what you can do is different than what anyone else can do, right? Because how you grew up, your environment is going to make a different type of person, right? I don't know where you grew up, but I can guarantee you didn't have the easiest life, right? You had some type of trouble, all right? And it might be, first world troubles or rich kid troubles where you ask dad for a Porsche and he says, sorry, you can only have a Tesla, right? That's possible. That's a dilemma for some people. And some people are worried about going on a bus, but they would rather take a lift, right? Like, you come from different worlds. People come from different worlds all the time. But it comes back to, what are you going to allow in your life? So you have to say at some point that enough is enough. And that is where I come in. That is where I help people understand their worth and what they really want for themselves. Because a lot of people want more than what they have right now. But not a lot of people even know how or where to start. That's why when people want to lose weight, because they realize that, staying home all day, watch Netflix and eating, Uber Eats and DoorDash wasn't a good idea. Now these people are playing catch up. These people are like, I better go on Google and figure out how to lose some weight. Or I need to go on Google and figure out how to start my own business or to do something else. When they had a whole entire year of staying home, now it's a year and a half, of staying home and doing something with that time. How many people squandered that year and a half and did absolutely nothing? Nothing. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. Definitely hundreds of thousands, certainly. Millions, I can almost guarantee that too. How many people said, I'm just going to sit here and wait? Okay, well, how about if I told you, okay, if you are in a bad place right now, just sit and wait. Don't worry about it. Just sit and wait. It'll be okay in a little bit. I don't know when, but it'll be okay. It doesn't work that way. You can't sit and wait for a better tomorrow. You can't sit and wait for someone to come save you. You can't sit and wait and hope what you dream of will come true. So if you are sad, if you're depressed, if you're single, want to be in a relationship, if you're poor, want to be wealthy, you can't sit and wait anymore. You have to do something. You have to change how you think, how you operate, and how you move. And if you can start to make the right money moves, the right life moves, you start to see things go more in your favor. And to simply say that you're going to do the work is nice. It's a very nice sentiment. Like, oh, I'm going to do this and it's going to be great. Okay, nice, awesome. But guess what happens? Maybe in a few weeks, they forget what they said and go back to their old habits. Why do you think on New Year's Day, and you look on Facebook, on Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever, any type of internet, social media website, and you read what people want to accomplish for the new year, guess what? Everyone wants more, right? They want something better. They want to travel more. They want more money. They want a relationship, be more in shape, right? They want more. They want better. So they start off with a full tank, New Year's Day, celebrating ball drops. Woo! Let's do this. The motivation, pedal to the floor. Let's go. January looking good. February looking good. March, what's happening? What's happening in March? Not even 4 months, not even half a year. People are already giving up because they realize how much work is needed. Also, they're allowing their habits, their old form of being, to come back and take control. Nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, if you want more, you need to be consistent in the new, right? So if you make a new plan for yourself and you say, this plan is going to get me to where I want to be, hold on to that. And yeah, you will have challenges. Yes, you will fall, you will fail. But at least you understand that the end goal is exactly where you want to be. And if you can see that end goal and want it bad enough, you won't give up. You won't. It's just that people don't want it bad enough. People kind of want what they say they want. Oh, I want to get in shape. I want this for myself. You kind of want it, right? You kind of want to be in shape. Well, guess what? There's only one way to not kind of want it, and that is to raise your expectations for yourself and for others. Everyone that's in my life, that is around me, their expectations are up here. That's what they need to accomplish. If they don't, okay, I don't mess with it, right? I'll keep you over there in your little corner, and I'm going to stay in my little corner or my big corner. Because you have a small mind, I don't need you in my life. So you have to understand, some people are going to keep that small mind throughout their whole entire life. And the quicker you can identify people who are holding you back, who are slowing you down, you can get rid of that weight and you can run further without them than with them. And yes, sometimes you might have to work with people where they might be this type of anchor in your life, but it doesn't mean you need to carry their burden. Because if you can solidify your mindset and say, all right, you're welcome to join me on my journey, but you better keep up. Because if you don't keep up, you're going to get left behind. And a lot of people take offense to that, actually. You're going to leave me? What about everything we've been through? You have to give up a lot of people that are in your life right now. And as sad as it might be family, it might be the person you're going out with, friends. And you have to say, all right, if they can keep up, cool, let them stay. But if they can't, let them go. And you can't be afraid of being alone, because as long as you're on your journey and on your path and on your way to going where you want to be, people eventually rise to the occasion, right? They're going to meet your expectations because that's what they understand. And that's the goal. When I was a teacher, I very rarely had an issue with a student because my expectations, there was only 5 of them, Very simple. Just basically, gotta give it your all, 100% basically. No talking, et cetera, for the students, they need a different set of rules. Maybe no phone, right? Et cetera, et cetera. But those expectations help the students understand, all right, this is what he wants. This is what I need to do to give him what he wants. And when they did that, they were able to grow tremendously. So much the director of the district was like, what have you done to these kids? And I said, we've been working hard. That's all I told them. We've been working hard every day. It was 100%. I gave them 100%. They gave me 100%. And I remember one time when I was a little like not feeling well. I think it was something I ate or something. I just wasn't feeling well. Like I was just like, like out of breath. And I was just like, all right, I gotta struggle through this day. So first class comes. This is an easy class. This was like a kindergarten class or first grade class. Easy for me. Cake, right? The younger they are, the easier they are to teach because they're a blank canvas and they want to learn. They want to be in school and learn. And it's so sad what's happening right now to students with the lockdowns and them having to be homeschooled mostly and to have distant learning. I find that a tremendous disservice to our youth. And it's going to cause a lot more issues in the future. And my business is going to be doing great. But at the same time, I would rather the schools be operational and to take off a lot of things from my plate that I'm going to have to fix later. That's how this business started. I saw firsthand teachers, students' interactions. I saw great teachers. I saw terrible teachers. But I also saw how the students were developing. And I said, I have to do something because those students become teens and those teens become young adults, become adults that lead society. And they weren't ready. They weren't ready to lead society. They weren't being taught things to be a functional member of society. They were taught to sit there and raise your hand if you want to speak. And the only answer is the right answer. So for me, it was something more, right? I was very intrinsic in my way of teaching where I would be pragmatic in a sense where it was structured, but they could still learn and they could still be themselves. They could be kids. I didn't take away their imagination. They could be as free as they needed to be free. And I just guided them to where they needed to go. If I wanted them to learn a certain thing, I say, okay, we'll do it this way. If it didn't work, we'll do it a different way, right? You just had to modify certain times, certain areas, certain students. And a lot of people, when I'm dealing with adults now, I have to figure out how they learn. I have to figure out what works for them, right? Because we all have a certain type of learning preference, whether it be an audiobook, whether it be reading from pages, whether it be visual, auditory, right? Like written, action-based. We all learn different. And sometimes in schools, the teacher fails to hit all those three, right? And it's not the teacher's fault because the teachers are already booked. They got 30 kids. They got to do assessments. They have to do lesson plans. They have to do their own evaluations for the principal, stuff like that. They're busy. Whoever says teaching is an easy job hasn't been a teacher. I remember my first year, I would get off work at 3:30. And I wouldn't go to bed until like 10:30. Well, I wasn't messing around. I literally went home and was writing lesson plans for the next day. My first year. Because the first year, I think, is the most difficult year because you have to write your lesson plans for the whole entire year, every single day. Every minute is accounted for. And eventually you get to the point where you can use your lesson plans with small modifications, and then your years are a little bit easier. So when you're in your 10th year, you're tenured, you can say, okay, this could be a little bit easier this year, unless there's going to be a curriculum change and or just adding a whole new division to the department. And most of the times that was very rare. So you can use a lot of the same lesson plans over the next year. So going back to expectations. So the kids were able to excel and meet my expectations because that is what I required of them. Now, if you have expectations for people or yourself, you will also reach those expectations, those requirements, and people will see that you have expectations and requirements, so they're going to rise to the occasion also. Because if you're going to have someone in your life and they are subpar to what you believe a person should be, why are they there? What value does this person bring to you, right? And you might have a specific role for a person, right? And that's fine. They can have that role, but don't carry their weight. And if you feel like you have to defend them while they're in your life, maybe they don't belong. Because a person is going to be exactly how they want to be. So if you want to understand a person, set the bar very high. Set the bar very high and see if they can accomplish those expectations. See if they meet your standards. Because that's their mindset. Bad boys. We ride together, we die together. That's the mindset. No matter what is going on, I'm going to rise to the occasion. So when it comes to what you have in your life, who you have in your life, what you want in your life, you have to ask yourself, are you willing to put in more? Are you willing to give your best effort? Your mindset needs to change. It needs to develop into a growth mindset. You need to develop expectations for people. You need to develop better habits in a plan of action, and then hold on to that plan of action and operate on a consistent basis in abundance. Don't limit yourself because you failed before. Don't limit yourself because something is difficult or is challenging. There's going to be obstacles in your life every single day. You have to either overcome that obstacle by climbing over it, pivoting, or breaking through that sucker. Right? And if you don't have a sledgehammer, go to Home Depot and buy one. Because there's going to be a lot of walls in your life that need to be knocked down. And we're not going to get violent and say that there's a lot of people you need to knock out. But if that's your case, hey, I'm not saying you need to be violent, but you can just keep some walls there and put people on the other side of the wall, and that could be their little domain, right? Away from you. So when you want to overcome your mind, there are certain processes and questions you must first answer and become accustomed to. So this is what this video series is going to be. Email me at coachinginsession@gmail.com. Ask me your questions. Ask me, what will it take to achieve a certain goal? Ask me, why have you not achieved something? And then tell me a little bit of your backstory. And I'll tell you exactly what is the problem. You might not like my answer. You don't have to like my answer. But at the same time, if you want to get past that 80% and into that upper 20%, and we're talking about 6 figures a year or more, and then how you feel, because you can make 7 figures and feel unhappy. But if you do it right, you can be content with whatever monetary value you have in your life, right? Whatever income you have for the year, you can be happy with it. You could be happy with $50,000, right? And you can say $50,000 gives me the lifestyle that I want, and I don't really want more. That's okay. That's fine. My goal is not to change people who are happy where they are. My goal is to help people where they want to see some progress, right? They want to see some change. Because there's a lot of unhappy people in this world. There's a lot of people who want more out of their life, but they're unwilling to put in the effort. They're not aware of what it takes, or they're unaware of their own potential. So sometimes the best thing to do is to ask a question. Start to ask yourself better questions, and you're going to get better answers. So ask me the question. How can I do this? How can I do that? What needs to be done? This is my life. How do I change it? And it's going to be different for everyone. This is a video series made and built for everyone. For people to realize that they have more to give. There's still gas in the tank. And even when you feel you're tapped out, I know you have 60% more to give me. So when you think you're done, you're not done. Because I'm not tired, even if you're tired. I have more to give. That means you have more to give. Push yourself past the limit. Don't push it to the limit. Push past the limit. And then when you realize that you went past the limit, understand that there was no limit. Because the only limitations we have are the ones we create in our own mind. And what I do as a mindset coach is I take away all the things that don't serve you. And I tell you the things that will serve you. I say, this is what you need in order to accomplish your goal. And simply having that understanding of what you need helps you progress in the right direction. And that direction is to your best life, to your most desired life. So again, email me your questions, coachinginsession@gmail.com. Regular spelling, nothing strange, nothing irregular about that. Again, my name is Michael Reardon. I'm your mindset coach with Revan Concepts, and this video series is going to be airing Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. to about 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, until we meet again, I will be back on tomorrow. I know today is Tuesday and it's not Monday, but I'm going to be coming on and streaming as frequently as I can because I know there's a lot of people with a lot of questions. And I might not get to your questions immediately, but I will always get to your questions. And if it's something very personal, I won't bring it up on the stream, but I will email you directly back in person or back via email. All right? So until then, take care. And this is me signing off.